This video is going out to one of my good friends, Julian, aka Crow. He was the Blackwing legend. Let's get into it. So Yu-Gi-Oh just dropped its newest structure deck. It's the Blackwing's Pride. Yes, I stand by the pride of the Blackwings. And it's honestly not that bad. There's a lot of really cool cards in here. There are some cards that are missing, like some of the more important synchro monsters. So this is the budget Blackwing deck profile. It's what I've been cooking. And I want to talk about cards not included in the structure deck. First off, we got Lost Wind. It's only a rare craft. I'm only using it because I don't have 3 Infinite Imperm. Well, I do, but not in the budget version. And you might have seen this card, Pot of Prosperity. It's especially good in this deck because you need to get to your combo pieces and this helps you get to it. And the extra deck's not super important. We run a couple cards in the extra deck which aren't really like viable. We don't really go into them. Sorry, Armdwing. Also, we're running the bundle cards. The reason for that is because the bundle cards, Lightning Storm, Nibiru, Ash Blossom, Infinite Imperm, dude, they're like freebies and they're so powerful. Well, at least Infinite Imperm, Ash Blossom, extremely powerful cards. I just threw in Nibiru and Lightning Storm just so we have a little bit more recovery if our opponent like establishes a big board or does a lot of plays, as you might see in the replays. But I do want to add big shout out to Panatic because he gave me excellent advice. He was telling me that I should talk about the game plan of the deck before I really get into card for card and stuff like that. Thank you for the advice. I hope that my video becomes better and that you enjoy it more. Let's get into it. So let's talk about the best cards in the Blackwing deck. In the main deck, we have Vata, the Emblem. This card is so good because it's not only a Foolish Burial, but it's also a 1-card synchro, and it's also an extender because you can just special summon it from your hand. The next best card in the deck is Shamal. I think Shamal's really good because the card that it searches, Black Whirlwind, which it's an excellent spell. It's just super powerful. Also, it has a good graveyard effect where you can just grab back resources. Also, it's a level 4 tuner. It's really good, and it works well with Black Whirlwind because it has high attack. Another really important card is Sudri. Sudri the Phantom is extremely important because when it's normal summoned, it gets you an ad. Another really important card is Simoon. Simon's really important because you can banish a Blackwing from your hand and you can activate a Black Whirlwind directly from your deck. Essentially what it lets you do is you just normal summon this guy. You don't have to tribute him even though he's a level 6, and you can search out literally any one of the Blackwings that is less attack than him, which is pretty much everything in the deck besides Zephyros and Shamal. And the final card in the main deck that I want to talk about that I think is super important, and probably my favorite, is Twin Shadows. It's essentially a synchro during your opponent's turn. You can use your banished cards, you can use cards in your graveyard. Really cool because I love when you get to use your graveyard like a second hand and you get to use the resources again. And the best part is if you have a Blackwing card that's banished, you can just shuffle it back into the main deck or the extra deck, so you can reuse that card. And finally, for the extra deck, there's 2 cards that are really important here. The first one is Boreastorm, the Wicked Wind. Essentially, this card is a Foolish Burial. When you summon it, you can just send a Blackwing monster from your deck to the graveyard. Yeah, this card becomes a level, but being able to send a Blackwing monster from your deck to the graveyard is powerful because you do have a couple really powerful cards you can send that have effects in the graveyard. Besides that, we have 2 big bosses. We have Blackwing Full Armor Master. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, when the Blackwing structure deck was released, I don't know the time span, it might be like a month or 2, you get this card for free as well. In the future, if anybody's watching this like a couple months to a year from now, yeah, this card might not be free. It's really important. If you do craft 1 card, it should probably be this card. Next up, we got Blackwing Assault Dragon. This is the most important synchro monster. You can synchro summoning it using monsters that are in your graveyard. That's crazy to me. And they don't even have to be the same level. The effect is okay. It's like every time your opponent activates a monster effect, they get burned. They take 700 damage. And then eventually your opponent has activated like 4 or more effects. You can just destroy every card on the field. Powerful stuff. But the main reason it's really good is just because you can just synchro summoning it using its stuff in your graveyard. It reminds me a lot of Dragon Rulers, which I really like. All right, now that I finished talking about all the most important cards, let's just talk about card for card. The first one we got is Sharnga, the Waving Moon. This guy can be special summoned from the hand sometimes if there's a monster with 2000 or more attack. Sometimes it's not going to be able to be special summoned, especially if you're going turn 1 and you don't have a monster with more than 2000 attack. But the main reason he's in the deck is because his graveyard effect is really good. You can just banish him from the graveyard, destroy a face-up card your opponent controls. It's just a pop. You can run him at 1. A lot of builds run him at 1. I prefer him at 2 because I think the pop is really important, especially in the budget build, because we want to have reaction to our opponent. Next up, we have Harmattan, the Dust. Essentially, this is only in a deck. It's just a Black Whirlwind target. So if we normal summon a Blackwing, we can just search it out, and it just helps us like go into synchro plays a little bit more. Not super important, you just special summon it from the hand for free if you control Blackwing. Vata, the most important card in the deck, just insane. You'll see in the replays, he's just so good. Chinook, the Snow Blast. This card is kind of like a battle trick. You can lower the attack of a monster on the field. I think the real reason Chinook is good is because you can send Blackwing Dragon or the tuner Blackwing from your extra deck to the graveyard, which allows you to go into the big boss even easier because you can just use resources in your graveyard. You can just banish cards from your graveyard, go into the big boss. Gale's only in here because he's a Black Whirlwind target. He's okay. He can half the attack of a monster. He can special summon himself for free. He's also a level 3 tuner. Might come up, steam the Cloak. It's a combo piece. If it leaves the field, you get a token. Also, you can tribute a monster, special summon it back from the graveyard. It kind of comes up. It's good in the graveyard. It's pretty good on the field because it gets you a token. You get a lot of advantage. Next up, 1 Ash Blossom from the bundle. Blackwing Zephyros. You only need 1 because you can only use its effect once per duel. But essentially, it's just if it's in the graveyard, you can return one of your face-up spells, or you can even return a monster, just a face-up card in general, and special summon this guy back from the graveyard. I like that because if you return a spell, like especially Black Feather Whirlwind, you can reuse Black Feather Whirlwind, and if you do a synchro, you can reactivate the effect. Then we got 3 copies of Shamal. It essentially just searches out Black Feather Whirlwind. 3 copies of Sudri. This card is just a search for the deck. Also, it has an additional effect where you contribute a monster and special summon a level 2 token. It does come up if you're like really bricking and you need to like get a synchro out. This guy does like become like a 1-card synchro, kinda. And 3 Simon. I don't really like Simon. He is good. He searches out Black Whirlwind, which is one of the most important cards in Blackwings because it just adds you Blackwings every time you normal. But I don't really like him particularly in our deck because most of the time in our opening hand, we only have 2 Blackwing cards and this guy banishes the other, but it works. People have been using it for a long time, so we're going to include it here. Maybe if I cook up some more, I might come up with a different build. And the final card is Nibiru. It's just a hand trap. It kind of does protect me. It came clutch in 1 game. I really like this card. For the spells, 1 Raigeki, border clear. I wouldn't run this in a more expensive build, but since this is more budget, and we need powerful cards, Raigeki's a perfect card. Same with Lightning Storm. It's either a Raigeki for attack position monsters or Harpy's Feather Duster. After that, we got Pot of Prosperity. It just gives us a little bit more consistency. It works really fine in the deck. Black Whirlwind, 3 copies. 3 copies of Black Feather Whirlwind. 2 Lost Wind. The reason I'm running Lost Wind is because I think it's one of the best cheap trap cards in the entire game. It's only a rare, and not only does it half the attack of a monster, but it also negates its effects. Also, it comes back from the graveyard if they summon another monster from the extra deck. It's incredible. It's an incredible card. If you're running a more expensive or you have 3 copies of Infinite Imperm, just run 3 Infinite Imperm and take out Lost Wind. Infinite Imperm is better because you can use it in your hand, but Lost Wind is a good card if you need like to fill up your deck with like whatever. Besides that, we have Blackwing Twin Shadows. It's just a 1-card synchro. You can synchro during your opponent's turn. You can synchro using cards in your graveyard that are banished. I love this card. It's amazing. Every time I have Twin Shadow, I always feel like I'm safe. Like, okay, I have a synchro for next turn. And the final one is Blackbird Close. This card's nutty. It's not searchable, but it is really powerful. Essentially, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can send a Blackwing you control, negate and destroy the monster they're trying to activate, and then you get a special summon a Blackwing Dragon. It is big dude for free. It's really weird because not only do you negate your monster's effect, but you get a free synchro. But I mean, a card like that exists. Also, if you control a Blackwing synchro monster, you can just activate it from the hand. Also, it's a counter, so it's spell speed 3, which means that you can get over a lot of Omni negates in the game. Looking at the extra deck, Blackwing Armor Wing is not really important. That's why it's at 1. Blackwing Boreastorm is a Foolish Burial. It's at 3 because it's a tuner. It allows us to go into the boss. You can run it at 2 if you need space, but it's really good at 3. Blackwing Armor Master is not that good. That's why it's at 1. Same with Assault Blackwing Chidori. It's not the best, so it's at 1 as well. Blackwing Dragon. I mean, I don't really like this card. I really don't. But it's so important because you have so many cards that need this 1 card in order to work. So I would recommend running it at least 2. Maybe one, maybe you can get away with one, but I'm putting it at 3 because a Synchro 8 is really important because Vata can only go into a Synchro 8. Blackwing Full Armor Master, unaffected by other card effects. Your opponent activates a monster, you place a wedge counter. Doesn't negate the effect, but you could steal his monster. You could just take control of it. It's yours now. Also during the end phase, if you don't take control of it, it just destroys everything with wedge counters. Cool card. The Big Boss, if your opponent activates a monster effect, it burns them. You can synchro summon this guy using stuff from your graveyard. And just 2 links. There are better links, but they are ultra rare. Namely, they are Raid Raptor stuff. So we're just putting in these because they're rare. They might come up, but mainly you're going into synchros. But these are only here just as options. But yeah, that's the deck list. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and let's get into the replays. All right, let's look at our opening hand. We have Shamal, Simon, Nibiru, Lost Wind, and Twin Shadows. I'm going to activate Simon by banishing my Shamal in order to do Black Whirlwind. Now, I was afraid when I did this because if our opponent had an Ash Blossom, they would have Ash Blossom Black Whirlwind and we wouldn't have been able to do anything. But they didn't, so we're able to just play for free. We're going to add a Vata and special summon it, and Vata has the effect where we can just synchro using cards from our deck. Our opponent's going to negate it with Infinite Imperm, so I'm like, okay, we're just going to end on Blackwing Dragon. Yeah, I don't really like this guy. If we had better Synchro 8s in our deck, maybe we had a Beals, or maybe we had I don't know, some better Synchro 8, we could have did it. But regardless, we're going to set 2 traps, Lost Wind, which can negate a special summon monster effect, and Twin Shadows, which we're going to activate right now. It's going to allow us to synchro summon during our opponent's turn. And we're using cards that are banished and are in a graveyard. We're going to make Full Armor Master. This guy, unaffected by other card effects, so I'm not really afraid. He can only really be destroyed by battle. Next turn, we draw. The card we drew, Harmattan, is not really good, so we're just going to draw, pass our turn, attack, and end. Now it's our opponent's turn. He's playing Drytron. He's going to do his Drytron combos. And I think we only have Lost Wind to negate a special summon monster effect. And we have Nibiru. If he summons too much, we just tribute everything. So our opponent's going to play. He's just doing basic Drytron combos. He's going to tribute Ben 10. He's going to add Diviner or Herald. He's going to go into this. So I want to negate this. I don't know if this is the absolute correct thing to do against Drytron, but it is the first card that I think is really good to negate. He's going to activate Red Reboot, which essentially just negates our trap because it's spell speed 3, and we reset it and we set a trap from our deck. So next turn we're going to be being chilling. The opponent's going to send a card from his deck to the graveyard. He's getting a counter on it, which really doesn't do anything as of now. The counters don't do anything, and he's just going to get his searches off. He searches out Blue Eyes Chaos Max. I was a little afraid. I didn't know that was normally played in the deck, and then he activates the ritual spell. Now I'm only doing this because the ritual spell specifically says you need to tribute machine monsters, and he has, what does he have, 1, 2 machine monsters on his field. So I'm like, I'm going to activate Nibiru here. I'm going to tribute everything on the field, and normally Nibiru would tribute even my monsters, but since this guy, full armor, isn't affected, I can just summon Nibiru kind of for free. And yeah, his ritual spell fizzles and he surrenders. Alright, next up we have Ash Blossom, negate, Zephyros, another Simon, Nibiru, and Twin Shadows. 2 of the same cards from the last duel, or 3 I guess, because we had Nibiru, right? Our opponent's playing Ghoti. This is the new deck. It like can synchro summon during our turn. I think it's really cool. I want to see what people can come up with. On our turn, we're going to do Simon. Yeah, if this gets negated, we're kind of screwed. Oh, it got negated. Alright, well, let's see what we can do. We have Simon, who is our normal summon, so we can't normal summon again. And we have 2 trap cards, no tuner we can special summon from our hand, and our opponent's playing during our turn. So he's going to activate this synchro, which allows him to banish like a fish from his deck. And then he's just like, he's pretty much just popping up right now. He's kind of chilling. He has like everything going on for him. Battle phase, we're going to destroy his other fish. Main phase 2, set 1 card, and we take 1000 damage because Simon gets rid of the Black Whirlwind we searched at the end phase. He's going to activate Cosmic Cyclone. That kind of sucks, but it's okay. Lost Wind's chain. We're going to half his Synchro Monster's attack. It's cool because Lost Wind can also half monsters attack in addition to negating their effects. So it has multiple uses. What is he doing here? I think he's tribute summoning or special summoning. He's going to attack over my dude, and then he's going to attack me for 1,500. Or excuse me, 1,050. Yeah, I usually don't see the 50, so it confused me. Draw phase. Oh my gosh, that is the best draw in our entire deck. Let's see what we can do. Normal summon Vata. We're gonna send cards from our deck to synchro summon. He's gonna chain Maxi. Ash Blossom that. I really don't want to give him any cards. Nothing at all. Okay. Ash Blossom's gonna go through, negate his Maxi. We are gonna send. What did we send? I think we sent a level 4 and a level 2 from our deck to the graveyard. We're gonna bring out Blackwing Dragon. He's gonna synchro summon during my turn, which is kind of neat. And he's gonna banish our Blackwing Dragon. But it's not the end of the world because now our graveyard is kind of filled up with a lot of things. Also, we have a Twin Shadows in our hand, which we are gonna set so we can synchro summon during our opponent's turn. He's just doing his Ghoti combos. He's adding during his standby phase. He's gonna special summon a bunch of things. Essentially, what Ghotis do is when they are banished, you can like special summon them, or they get effects when they're banished. And he's gonna enter battle phase. We're gonna flip up Twin Shadows. We are gonna shuffle a level 2 and a level 4 and bring out this guy. Now this is really, really cool. This is the first time I ever did this combo, so I was a little surprised. This guy, Boreastorm, whenever he's summoned, we can send a Blackwing from our deck to the graveyard. The card we sent from our deck to the graveyard was Sharnga. Essentially what this card does is when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, destroy a face-up card on the field. So our trap got us a synchro monster, and the synchro monster got us a card that can pop a card on the field. So, and we drew another Twin Shadows, which I'm like, whoa, that's really awesome. Okay, I'm feeling safe now. Twin Shadows is probably the most important trap card in the entire deck. It might be one of the more important cards in the deck. It's just a 1-card synchro. Our opponent's just doing combos. I'm going to speed it up because he's just going to special summon a lot and do a lot of things. He's going to destroy a monster. He's going to banish, special summon. He's going to special summon again. And I think it's right here. When he special summons this monster, Nibiru is like, hey, do you want to activate Nibiru? By the way, this is my turn. It's still my turn. It's not his turn. And he did all this. So yeah, I'm like, okay, we'll do Nibiru. I'll summon my rock and attack. Yours is going to have like 0 defense, right? Oh, 3,100. That's 100 more. I was a little afraid here. I was like, man, maybe I should have summoned Nibiru in defense. Hopefully we don't die. Main phase 1, enter battle phase. He's going to attack over our Nibiru. And he's going to leave us with like, what, 550 life points? We are low. During the end phase, flip up Twin Shadows. We're going to banish, or excuse me, shuffle back the tuner level 6 and the 4. And we were going to bring out a synchro. I was like really surprised that he was able to summon 5 monsters during my turn, but Nibiru came in really clutch. All right, here we go. A little bit of a more different hand, and we get to show off Black Whirlwind, which I'm really excited for because I kind of like the card. I like it a lot. Draw phase. Our opponent didn't do anything. He just passed. So I'm like, okay, it's our turn. Black Whirlwind, if we synchro, we can special summon a monster from the graveyard, and he activated Maxi. So I could either go into a synchro 8 and then do the special summon combos and give him 2 cards, or just end the turn. Oh, we're playing against Blackwings. Nice. Okay, he's going to activate Black Whirlwind. He's going to search out that special summon because Vata is just so important. We're going to negate Vata right away just because I don't want him to, like, you know, I don't want him to use it because it's too good. I don't want him to get the free resources. He's going to go into a synchro 6. He's going to go into nothing. I'm just kidding, it's a synchro monster. We're going to negate that with Blackbird Close. So essentially we're going to negate its effect, destroy it, and on top of that, we special summon Blackwing Dragon. And then now since we special summon that guy, we can activate the spell. We can bring back a Blackwing from a graveyard for free. Yeah, for free. Pretty good. And he's going to go into Boreastorm. Boreastorm's going to allow him to Foolish Burial Blackwing. He's going to send a Shamal. I don't know why he did that particularly. I think there's better options. But, I mean, it's his deck, his place. He's going to banish a Blackwing from his graveyard. He's going to take our monster, and then he's going to end on Draco Berserk. This is a card I do recommend if you do want to craft a card. It is a really good Synchro 8. Essentially, if we activate a monster effect, you can just banish it. We're going to activate Black Whirlwind. We're going to do Blizzard. Black Whirlwind's going to chain. I don't think he could chain his Berserk because of the chain links, you know, because it's 1-2. Berserk needs to, like, chain directly to the monster. I believe. I could be wrong. He's going to Ash Blossom our Black Whirlwind, and we are going to go into Full Armor Master. I was thinking in my head, looking at my extra deck, I was like, what can I do? What can I do? Well, there's probably a better play I could have did, but I wasn't really thinking, I'm going to be quite honest. So that's what we ended up doing. We just ended up crashing, and we end our turn. He's going to activate Black Whirlwind, and that is the best combo in the deck. Black Whirlwind, summon that dude. He's going to get 1 search. Okay, the best card in his deck, free search, and he's going to get another search, Shamal, the second best card in his deck. Shamal's going to search him out Black Feather Whirlwind, so if he synchro summons, he's going to get his free special summon from his graveyard, and he's just going to go into the free synchro summon. And then he's going to bring back that card. He's going to go into a 10, a full armor master of his own. Like, I'm like, that's kind of impressive, honestly. And now he's going to do the Shamal banish from the graveyard. He's going to add back Veil. That's how good this card is. That's how good it is. And he's going to get the free special summon. Because, by the way, if you have a tuner and a Blackwing dragon in your graveyard, you can just summon a Soul Dragon for free. We took a lot of damage there. We are really, really low. Draw phase. Let's see what we can draw. Can we draw anything? One card. Vata. Vata, normal summon, Black Whirlwind. We get Chonker. Chonker is going to send a tuner from our extra deck because now we have a tuner and a dragon in our graveyard. We're going to banish both, go into a free synchro. Black Feather Whirlwind's going to trigger here because we special summon a monster. We're going to bring back full armor for free, and we're just going to banish Shamal, add this guy. And we're going to try to do Vata for the free special summon, or the free synchro, I should say. He's going to Ash Blossom it. I'm like, okay, that kind of sucks. I kind of wanted that, but I mean, it is what it is. Armor Master is going to put a wedge counter on it too. We're going to go into a Synchro 6 Boreastorm because Boreastorm can Foolish Burial monster from our deck. Black Zephyros is pretty important here because we can bounce a spell. I messed up here. I should have bounced the other spell. I don't think it's really going to matter, but I should have bounced the other spell just in case it does come up. Attack over his monsters, and I think, is that game? Not yet. What is this guy? Oh yeah, we get to banish a monster from our graveyard and steal it. During main phase 2, I'm like thinking like, is there really anything I can do? I guess I could tribute his monster, get a token. We can go into a Blackwing Synchro just to protect us from effect burn damage, and end our turn. Now, if our opponent activates anything, he gets burned. Any monster effect, he gets burned for 700. So he's gonna do that. He's gonna activate this effect, and yeah, he should get burned here. Wait, he didn't. Never mind, I'm lying. I don't know why I'm lying. He's gonna add back the Veil, or the Vata, excuse me, and yeah, here I think he's gonna try to burn me and lower my monster's attack because Blackwing Dragon has the effect where if it has counters or whatever, you can remove the counters off of it and make the attack of an opponent's monster lower, and it burns the opponent. But we have our own Blackwing, so we don't take any effect damage. He's gonna try to attack over us. We're gonna activate this guy's effect, destroy every card on the field. Psych. Because a spell actually protects everything. So yeah, he's just gonna crash for game because it was over. So the final replay is not really going to be me showing off my deck particularly, because as you can see I'm playing branded Despia. I just wanted to show off the opponent's deck because yeah, he does a lot of things. I didn't know Blackwings were capable of this. This was actually the first example of me playing against Blackwings. So yeah, he's gonna Black Whirlwind, normal Shamal. Shamal's gonna grab him Vata, and then he's gonna do Shamal's effect for Black Whirlwind. He's gonna synchro up. He's gonna send 2 cards. He's gonna send a Zephyros in level 2, go into the Black Whirlwind Dragon. He's gonna have a free special summon from the graveyard. Also, Shamal's gonna be able to add him a card from his graveyard back to his hand. So a lot of plays right here. He's gonna add the little dude. This guy's not bad. It's like he can like copy the level, and then he can like do some other synchro tricks. He's gonna bounce back the card that like special summoned the Black Feather Whirlwind. So now if he synchros again, he can just re-special from the graveyard. That's why I think this card's so good, because it's not a hard once per turn, it's a soft once per turn. Next up, he's gonna go into the Foolish Burial guy. He's gonna send, what did he send to the graveyard? Ah, yeah, Steam Cloak, that's right. He's gonna go into the Link, the Raid Raptor Link, which special summons a level 4 from the deck. He's gonna go into the Phantom Knight. When I saw this, I was like, huh? Oh, okay. The Phantom Knight's gonna set the quick play rank up card, and then he is going to go into a Synchro 7 Obsidian Hawkjoe. I think this allows him to special summon from his graveyard again. He's going to get a free token from Steam Cloak, and yeah, he's going to go into another Synchro 7 Rakira, and then he went into this. I was like, what? Why are you doing this? What is this? Aerial Falcon is special summon a level 4 from the deck. I'm like, okay, is that good? And then it is pretty good because he's going to go into Boral Load Savage Dragon. He's going to equip the Phantom Knight card. He's going to have 3 negates. Pretty strong. He's going to banish from his graveyard for free. He can go into the big Synchro. And oh yeah, by the way, Black Feather Whirlwind. Special summon Obsidian Hawk back. Just whatever. And he's going to rank up during my turn. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll chain Branded Opening. He's going to negate it with Boral Savage anyways. And yeah, he's going to chain his trap too, because he had the trap. And what does the trap bring out? It brings out the Synchro 10 that's invulnerable to everything. Super OP. Full Armor Master. And he just summoned a monster, which makes it so for the rest of this turn, other cards and effects cannot be activated on the field. Also, other cards on the field are negated, so I can't play the game. Yeah, activate this, negate. Oh, GG. Anyways, that's it for the replays. I like that Konami made a Blackwing structure deck. I have a friend who's really big into Blackwings, and I know there's a lot of people who like Blackwing, so I mean, it's cool. So, pretty cheap Blackwing deck. There are some cards you might need to craft, but besides that, it's pretty viable. My name's KushiKush. Maybe I'll catch you next time. Consider subscribing. See ya.